the President of the Greenlandic Parliament, the President of Iceland, dear Arctic friends. I'm so honored to be here with you all today, and it's so exciting to be giving the best spot of today, that is to give the last speech before the first coffee break. A great number of political decisions are now being taken at the international level. Many of these decisions have impacts for the people who live in the Arctic. The global governance is now not only in the hands of governments, but also executives, international organizations, corporations, and non-governmental organizations, to name a few. National parliaments and other publicly elected bodies appear more as outsiders or even as passive bystanders. The global democratic deficit is growing even larger, and national parliaments risk becoming the main losers in global decision-making. Nobody likes to be a loser, and that's why I'm here. We in the West Nordic Council, that is, the parliaments in Iceland, Faroe Islands, and Greenland, we are members of the West Nordic Council. And we do believe that parliamentarians should be interested in Arctic affairs, and they should participate in the debate about the Arctic. I've been lucky enough to be able to participate in all the Arctic Circle assemblies in Reykjavik. And I was also in the forum in Alaska last year, but I missed out in Singapore. Sorry about that, Singapore. But at the first Arctic Circle's assembly in Iceland, I do believe there were only 3 parliamentarians from Iceland present. And my president discussed this with me, and we were not happy about that. And that is why we in the West Nordic Council decided to focus a little bit on why the elected people of the Arctic countries do not participate in a higher level in those meetings. Last year, we had a meeting and invited everyone who was attending the meeting in Reykjavik to a lunch. And we are trying to establish the Arctic Parliamentary Network. And we hope to see more participants in the future. And we have a meeting tomorrow at lunch. And we hope to see the ones that are elected to join us at that meeting. We do represent the people living in the Arctic, and it is our duty to participate. We in the West Nordic Council, we have a few weapons. We adopt resolutions that are submitted directly to the 3 national parliaments for approval and then implemented by the appropriate ministers in the governments of the 3 countries. In the last year, the Council has put great efforts in mapping out where the interests of the West Nordic countries go together on Arctic affairs, and adopted resolutions accordingly with an emphasis on 4 issues: free trade, transport, the ocean and its resources, and the Arctic. All of these issues are closely connected, and they are all relate to the uniqueness of the region with respect to its location. Increasing trade between the 3 countries is essential to ensure economic growth in the region as a whole. And there is a great potential in this regard. Reliable transport is also vital. We need to ensure effective transport links within the West Nordic region to the benefit of all 3 countries. We also have common interest when it comes to fisheries, including common fish stocks. We will never agree on everything, but we can work more closely together. As I said earlier, we have been active participants in the Arctic Circle assemblies since 2014. And last January, the Council, in fact, became an official partner of the Arctic Circle, providing us with many opportunities for further cooperation. At last year's assembly, the Council hosted a special meeting, as I told you earlier, for elected representatives in the assembly, and we do hope to see more of you in the future. But I need your help, because I need you all, when you go home and meet your MPs and all the parliamentarians, to tell them about our meetings and how important it is that the people who live in the Arctic have their politicians in those meetings, networking for the areas. We also, in the West Nordic Council, we do know that 30 out of 32 observators through the Arctic Council, only one is parliamentary organization. And this is one of the main reasons the parliamentary organization, the West Nordic Council, is applying for observator status in the Arctic Council to decrease the obvious democratic deficit in the Arctic governance. And we do hope that we will get a yes to a positive response to our application. To conclude, I believe it to be the West Nordic countries' duty, as the only countries in the world where 100% of the population lives in the Arctic, to draw attention to the rights of the population to influence the region's development. It should not only be government officials, international organizations and businesses that lead the way, but the people living in the area. Nationally elected representatives of Arctic states are those responsible for protecting the rights of the region's inhabitants. In addition to debating and exchanging information on Arctic issues, elected representatives in the region can also, as the case of the West Nordic Council proves, have a direct impact on decision-making on Arctic affairs at the governmental level. Now that national governments are not simply losing autonomy in a globalized world, but sharing the powers with numerous self-serving parties, greater democratic influence on Arctic affairs is simply crucial. At last, I want to be a little selfish, and thank on behalf of us from Iceland, our president, who is now finishing his 5th term as president of Iceland, for everything he has done for us, especially regarding Arctic matters. He has put that topic on the map, and traveling with the president to other countries, for example, at the forum in Alaska, shows us that a small country has a strong voice, and together we can do anything. Thank you.